What is the type of compound? Ionic. How do we know? If you're not answering the question, you are not talking. Got it? Okay, so the type of compound is ionic, and it's because it begins with a metal. What's the other thing it could begin with? Ammonium. Yeah. Now you can say it's a metal plus a non-metal, that's fine, but sometimes it'll be a metal plus a polyatomic ion, right? So as long as it starts with a metal, you know you have an ionic compound. How do we figure out the formula for an ionic compound? What tool in our toolbox do we use? Balance. The charges, yes. Because they are ions, we're going to have charges, and we need the total positive to equal the total negative, okay? And that's because all compounds are neutral. So if we take a look at nickel here, the symbol for nickel is Ni. And where is Ni on the new periodic table you got? What zone is it in? It's in the red zone, yes? Nickel is number 28 if you're having trouble finding it. Everyone, make sure you have your new periodic table in front of you. And if it's in the red zone, that means we do not know its charge unless we are told. Are we told what the charge of nickel is here? Yes, we are. We are told that it is nickel 2+, because that's a 2 there. And nitride, where would we look to find its charge? Look on the periodic table, and remember your charges on the periodic table are as easy as 1, 2, 3. And for people who were away last day and have no idea what I'm talking about, let's go to our periodic table here. And literally, group 1 is +1, group 2 is +2, and group 3 is +3. It hardly gets any easier than that, yes? You can write this on your periodic table, but during any quizzes or tests, it will look like this. Okay? So you do need to memorize them. But you can do it, +1, +2, +3. Was that good? Okay. Now, if we're in the red zone, because at number 4, we sort of, group 4, we hit the red zone. Remember, it will tell you, the Roman numeral will tell you what the charge is. So you don't need a number. Over on the far right of the periodic table, do noble gases form ions? Which group is the noble gases? These guys. and they do not form ions because their valence shell is complete. It is full. Everybody in group 17 needs 1 electron to fill up their shell, so they're going to be -1 because they'll gain 1 electron. Everybody in group 16 needs 2 electrons to fill up their shell, so they will be -2. And everyone in group 15 needs 3 electrons to fill up their outer shell, so they will be -3. Look, it's as easy again as 1, 2, 3. In this case, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then you might notice there's a few places on the periodic table that we don't have. And the boron group and the carbon group, these guys form covalent compounds. Not ionic bonds. If they're not forming ionic bonds, they're not forming ions. Therefore, do they have a charge? Nope. And then, after that, the only things we have left really are these little guys in here. And you'll notice that this little column here has 3 things in it. What do you think their charges are? +3, +3, +3, +3. How about our next set, which has 2 things in it? +2, +2. And then the silver is going to be +1. Okay, so again, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, you are expected to memorize those. And while we're here, we were looking for what's the charge of nitrogen. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3. Here's nitrogen, and that gives us a 3. So here we are. Nitrogen is 3 minus. Method A for finding the, the actual formula is sort of a long way of doing it. Actually, how many people can just do this in their head, can find the formulas in their head? If you can do that, that's great, right? Like if you're like, I just can do it in my head, just do it in your head. If you can't, choice number 1 is to say, I need my positives to equal my negatives. Right now, I do not have enough positive because I got more negative than positive. So I will add another nickel. That now gives me a total of 4+. But now only on this side, I have 3 minus. So I need more negative. So I'm going to add another one there. Whoops, that should be a negative. All right, that now gives me 6 negative. Oh, now I got too much negative and not enough positive, so I need to add another positive, nickel 2+. That gives me 6+. Which means, how many nickel do I have? 1, 2, 3. Ni3. How many nitride do I have? 1, 2. N2. So that's method 1. Method 2. How do I know nitrogen is -3? I go to my periodic table and I look and see the group nitrogen is in, and it is in the -3 group. Yes? What's the charge of? Oh, germanium and silicon? Oh, germanium and Sb, again, they tend to form covalent bonds, so we're not going to worry about them. If you don't find it, and if it doesn't have a Roman numeral, you won't need to know it. Okay? The red ones? Oh, I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay? We're going to come to an example with it. Okay? Oh, actually, we did just come to an example. Here was nickel. Right? We just did nickel. How did I know that it was 2+? Whoops. I go to my question, and my question literally will tell me nickel is 2+. So if it is in the red zone, the Roman numeral will tell you the charge. Okay, so if we go here, red zone, Roman numeral tells you the charge. Yeah, it will give it to you. Yeah. Okay, so that's method 1. Method 2, very, very similar. Ni 2 plus and 3 minus. We say, what is the LCM of 3 and 2? 6. How do I get a 6 with a 2 plus? I need to multiply it by 3. That means I've got Ni 3. Okay? How do I get 6 from a 3 minus? I need to multiply it by 2, which means I have N 2. Yep. Third method. Ni 2 plus, N 3 minus. You're going to take the 3 and bring it down here, so it's going to be Ni 3. N, and you crisscross this one and bring it down there, N 2. You see how you get the same answer no matter which method you use? Okay, I don't care which one you use as long as you get it right. And you might find that sometimes you like one method, but you might use another one. So say, for example, in this one, what's the symbol for tin? It is SN. And if you're like, how do you know that? Have you guys ever seen those like it's a, hang on a second. Okay, so literally like you have like a thing with Pringles in it, right? And inside is like this spring with a cloth around it, and it gets pushed down, and you open it up, and the little spring comes out, and it goes blah, and it's like a surprise snake. Okay, so what's in the tin? A snake's in the tin. Yeah? What's in the tin? A snake. What's the symbol for tin? Sn. Snake. SN. Yes? Okay, and you can see, it's not just me, this is a thing. I don't know that anybody ever does it anymore. It used to be a real big gag on like television in the 1970s. People would be like, whoa. I don't know. They thought it was really funny. I didn't really get it, but that's okay. So again, tin, if we look up tin, and the other way to do it is to go and find the alphabetical listing, and you can say tin is SN, and that's on the back of your periodic table. Okay, so if you don't remember that, that's fine. And you're like, where is it on the periodic table? It is number 50. So you can go and say, okay, back on my other page here, oh, look, it's number 50, and then you can find it where it is. Okay, so it is in the red zone, which means in order to know the charge, you need a Roman numeral, and in this case, that Roman numeral is a 2, so it is SN 2 plus and oxide 2 minus. Let's do a crisscross here. The 2 minus comes down here, SN 2, and then the 2 plus comes down here, O2. Is that a good final answer? No, because if you crisscross, you must also check to see if you need to reduce it, simplify it, okay? If you crisscross, check if you need to simplify. All right, and that just means if they're both divisible by 2, you need to divide them both by 2, which means this is then going to become SNO. All right? Now, you might just look at this one and go, why would I bother crisscrossing? I can see that 2 plus and 2 minus are equal and opposite. I just need one of each, right? And so you might mix and match different methods depending on how you feel. I would like you to do numbers 11 through 14 and the bonus. And while we're down here, let's correct the numbering on this because apparently it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So this is going to be number 8 and this is going to be number 9. Okay, so you can correct that numbering in the answers. And you guys are going to finish those off and I'm going to come around and see how you're doing. Huh? Oh, for this one, SNO. Because we divided both of them by 2. Okay? Yeah. So you guys are going to do the rest of that page. So we're just saying the number of, it says the number of atoms is 2 atoms, the number of atoms is 2 atoms. You have that that's just part of the function. You just ignore the, just crisscross the numbers and ignore the when you yeah. I don't usually like to really understand what they're doing. It's a trick. I prefer lowest common multiple. Right? Because then I'm like, oh, I mean, what's the lowest common multiple? It's whoops. Maybe don't. Anions always take the I. If they're not I squidward. I'm there's a lot of oxide. I think you already got that. LC number 21. Yes, well, it means no, but should he be stepping on fundamental triumphantly, or should he like grabbing? Okay, so how do I make him no. All your souls are my soul and all your souls. I was like, I was like, see, like, how do you SN1, oh, 1, but we don't write the ones, so you just write SN. I'll be able to get back to that. Yeah. Okay, so that O is oxygen, not zero. Oh, no. Yeah. So, like that's no that is because that's oxygen. Oh, okay. There's no zero. So you do like absolute zero. That's absolutely no. I don't know zero. I don't like that. Okay. No. If I know zero. No, it's not. It's an O. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I did go up a little bit. I think I was just trying to get out of the way. There we go. I can see why it was confusing though, because it did go up a little bit. There we go.
I did too. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And now with this one.
I might need to redo his head.
Is that why? Is this like a carry up? Like you shaving off all your eyebrows and you end up? Yes. I forgot that I told you. Now you're right.
How dumb are you?
I shaved my eyebrows off once. I wasn't even that young. I was like 8.
That's not good. I burned my eyebrows.
No, it doesn't.
My dad was like, all right, let's go with like barbecue. Alright. So the gas is light. So it's been like 10 seconds and like now it's turning the gas off. So when it finally hit light, it just went ooh.
Maybe just your eyes.
Smell like burnt hair for the next 2 days.
A little silly. That's what I'm having. Yeah. So like she's like, I was making so I'm going, hey you. So like celebrating the 70 sugar chain. And it was like, oh geez. Not like
There we go. That is important. They get more and more muscle.
Okay, I'm a little bit terrified. Why is he so snatched? Why is he so good?
Guys, I know, and then you're SpongeBob and you're like your egg cooking and steaming. And then he's gonna be dragging.
yes.
Hello, why has he got that hourglass? Best I've seen.
Even better.
It's like his friends drawing, but like is it mine?
Yep.
But
Lucky you.
This was 0. I've been doing that since the 80s. Yeah, okay. Oh, there's a kid that hates him.
How did it go wrong?
Montgomery is not a
Yes.
I might have just recycled them. You're man.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I know. He's probably gay though.
Yeah.
I forgot my book at home. and
Would
I-
you like to borrow a book? Here,
I
borrow a book.
there you go. This works too. What is that to me? What?
No, that one under your pencil case.
No, that one's clean. Yeah.
You can write on it. But he doesn't want to. See? You know what he said about your
Did you beat anything?
No one.
Everyone else who was sitting at the table.
Everyone else.
That's just a
All right.
No, she was the
We are now going to move on to page 60 something. 65. No, yeah, no. 63. Page 63. Now these guys here, we call them ternary compounds because they contain 3 or more, but the main thing about these is that they contain polyatomic ions. And do you guys know where you will look to find your polyatomic ions? You will look on your pink sheet. Polyatomic ions are on the pink sheet. And we basically use them in exactly the same way that we do other formulas, but there's a few things to watch out for. Okay? So, first thing we do is we write the formula for each ion. Did we just do that? In the other ones we just did, we wrote each ion. We made sure the total positive equaled the total negative, didn't we? Yes? Okay, same thing. And we use subscripts. What the heck is a subscript? Those are the little numbers at the bottom of a formula. And what do they tell you? They tell you the number of each ion. So if we had Ca3 and 2, the 3 is the subscript, and it tells us that we have 3 Ca2 plus ions. Yes? And this little 2 here tells us that we have 2 N3 minus ions. Is good? Okay. The reason they're called subscripts is because they are below the script writing. Below writing, subscript. Okay? Now, things to watch out for. You have to look at the end of the name of the anion. You're going to find that some things end in ate, some things end in ite, and some things end in ide. If you have ate or ite, those are all polyatomic. 8 and 9 are all polyatomic. Where will you look for them? Pink sheet. And just in case you're wondering, the thing that's different about 8 and 8 ions is the number of oxygens. I don't know why I can't write here. Gustavo, could you close the door for us, please? Thank you so much. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of noise out in the hallway. Okay. You cannot predict the number of oxygens based on the name. It just tells you relatively an 8 ion will always have 1 more oxygen than the 8 ion. So nitrate has 3, nitrate has 2. But sulfate has 4, and sulfite, how many would sulfite have? It would have 3, because the 8s always have 1 more oxygen than the 8s. Now, it's all well and good to know that, but you don't have to, because you always get to use your pink sheet, okay? And then, of course, sulfide. What is the sulfide ion? Sulfide is just S. So if you see the ide ending, that means it is usually monatomic. And if something is monatomic, where do you look? The periodic table. There are actually 3 exceptions. There is hydroxide. Okay, so we do have an ide on hydroxide, and that is a polyatomic. There is cyanide, which is Cn minus, and there is also hydrogen sulfide, which is HS minus. Those are polyatomics that end in ide, but there's really only the 3 of them. Okay, but normally if you see ide, just look on your periodic table. All 8 nights are polyatomic. Use of brackets. Do you guys know when to use brackets and when not to use brackets? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Some of you. How many people feel like they do at this point? Okay, like about a third of you. All right. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you. Okay. So you will use brackets. So do use brackets. Yes, brackets. Around a polyatomic ion when you have 2 or more of that polyatomic ion. So for example, if we had Mg2 plus and OH minus, we would need how many OHs to balance out the charge? We would need 2 OHs to balance out the charge. So that means we have 2 or more of that polyatomic ion. Yes? 2 or more of that polyatomic ion. So I will need to put brackets around it. Yeah? So we need to have those brackets. What's wrong with just writing MgOH2? Yes? There's only 2 of the hydrogens. This one says you have 1 Mg, you have 1 O. Is that correct? Do we have 1 O? No, we have 2 O's. Yeah? So this is just wrong. Okay? So if you have 2 or more of a particular polyatomic ion, it needs to have brackets. If you have a single polyatomic ion, so do not use brackets, do not use brackets if you have only 1 of that polyatomic ion. You guys are okay with PAI for polyatomic ion? So let's say we had Na plus and NO3 minus. Are those charges balanced? Yes, because we've got +1 and -1. All right, so we only need 1 sodium. So we have no number beside the sodium, right? Because there's just 1. And we need 1 nitrate. That right there is 1 nitrate. I know it has a 3 beside it. What's the 3 for? It does not mean 3 nitrates. What does it mean? Yeah? Yeah, it means that our nitrogen has 3 oxygens attached to it. So we have 1 of these. 1 NO3 minus. Yeah? Not 3 of them, just 1 of them. And if we only have 1 of them, we do not put brackets around it. That's just a rule, okay? There used to be a teacher at this school, and we used to give him a hard time. He's a principal now, or a vice principal at least. Is he a principal now, or is he a vice principal? I think he's vice principal. Anyway, he used to teach here, and he used to teach in the science department. He was like, polyatomic ion, just throw brackets around it. He was a biologist. Most of our biologists are really good when it comes to polyatomic ions in the brackets. Like Ms. Lamb, Ms. Sin, they're amazing. Mr. Look just teaches grade 8, so he doesn't have to do this, so I don't know how he is yet. And he teaches grade 12 biology as well. But anyway, brackets, no. So it's like if you were writing 2 plus 3, would you normally write it as 2 plus 3, or would you normally write it as 2 plus 3 in brackets? Which one would be more usual? The first one, right? But if all of a sudden we wanted to multiply that by 4, then we would put it in brackets, yeah? So it's like what we're doing there. If we have more than 1 of a polyatomic ion and we're kind of multiplying it, that's when we need our brackets. The other thing is do not use brackets around monatomic ions. So chloride is just Cl minus, that is monatomic. So it's just Cl2, this is good. Do not put brackets around it, that is bad. Okay? Yeah. So that's use your brackets, don't use your brackets. Use your brackets, don't use your brackets. Okay, next page. Okay. Things to watch out for. Okay, I don't know how many times to say this. I need to say it at the beginning of your class. Dichromate is not 2 chromates. Dichromate is not 2 chromates. Everyone say it with me. Dichromate is not 2 chromates. Now, you guys get all excited. You're like mono, di, tri, tetra. You remember all those from like grade 8, 9 and 10? Okay, those are for covalent compounds. What kind of compounds are we doing right now? Ionic compounds. So if you see a di, it does not mean 2. Well, it kind of does, but it doesn't. Okay, it does not mean 2 of them. What it means is that you have an 8, which means you go look on your pink sheet. And what letter would you look under on your pink sheet? Would you look under chromate? Or would you look under dichromate? What's its name? Dichromate. Go look under D. Go find it. Go find me dichromate. Dichromate is under D for dichromate. Look at that. There it is. Okay? It's not 2 chromates. Chromate is CrO4 2 minus. Dichromate is CrO2O7 2 minus. It is not 2 chromates. So don't look for chromate and multiply it by 2. Dichromate is Dichromate is not two chromates. Dichromate is not two chromates. Where do you look for dichromate? On the pink sheet. Do you look, what letter do you look under for dichromate? D. Okay, good stuff. I thought I went through this with my other block, and then half of them were giving me dichromate in the examples that we did afterwards. So I don't know. I don't know how many different ways to say it. All right. Also watch out for things like this. Hydrogen carbonate. You'll only ever be given 2 ions. So hydrogen carbonate is not H plus and CO3 2 minus. Okay? If I give you, say, calcium, hydrogen carbonate, what's the symbol for calcium? Ca, and it's in column 2. What is its charge? 2 plus. Go look up hydrogen carbonate for me. What letter should you be looking under? H. And you'll notice, is it H plus and CO3 2 minus? No, it's just HCO3. Do you see how if I did Ca 2 plus and H plus and CO3 2 minus, you would get confused and you'd be like, how do I balance that? That's complicated. Yes? And that's because that's not what you're doing. You would be balancing Ca2 plus and HCO3 minus, and at that point it becomes easy to see that you need 2 of these. And so that would then be Ca. We need 1 Ca. How many HCO3s do we need? 2. So that would be HCO3, 2. Okay. What is this ion here? What is that letter there in the middle? That's an L. Thank you. It's not an I, it's an L. This is usually more of a problem. No, this is a problem when we're writing the formula, right? People will see chlorate and they'll write CiO3 and I'm like, it's not carbon iodate. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Chlorate. All right, so let's try this one together. Sodium, Na+. Group 1. Go look up acetate. Tell me what it is. CH3COO, what is its charge? Negative. So I have a positive and a negative. Are the charges balanced? Yes. So I just write Na. I have 1 of them. Do I write a number when I have a 1? No. And then I write CH3COO. Do I put brackets around that polyatomic ion? No, because I just have 1 of them. Now, I left a little bit of a space here. You should not be leaving a space. It should all be together. Okay? That's actually not so good. It should all be squished into one thing. Copper. What's the formula for copper? Cu. What's the charge of copper? Oh no, it's in the red zone. What should I do? Look at the Roman numeral. Come back. There we go. So I have 2 plus. And acetate is CH3COO minus. If you want to crisscross, you can. You can say, Cu, I need 1 of them. And CH3COO, I need 2 of them. And I know it's near the end of the day and some of you are on your phones, which you should not be on your phones. Yeah. Should there be a bracket? Yes. Thank you. There we go. Okay? Need that bracket because it's that whole thing that's multiplied by 2. Because we have 2 CH3 COOs. This is the other reason that I don't love the crisscross, because you don't really see that the reason for this 2 is not just because of this, it's because you physically have 2 of them, of the whole thing. Okay? 2 of the whole thing. Lithium hydrogen carbonate, Li plus H plus CO3 2 minus. Balance it, go. Is that right? No. How many ions will I always give you? 2 ions. That would be 3 ions. Don't do that. What is hydrogen carbonate? HCO3 minus. So this is now LiHCO3. Are we unhappy with what I've done? Yes, why are we unhappy? I should not have those brackets. Bye-bye. And then if I do that, I have to write them a little bit closer together. There we go. Okay, ammonium. You go on your periodic table and try and find ammonium. Ammonium is not on your periodic table. You won't find it there. You can go, come on, data pages, there we are, alpha list. You can go to the A's and you'll be like, oh, there is no ammonium. It's not there, which means it must be on the pink sheet. Okay, so let's go to our pink sheet. Now, oh no, it's not here. That's the only A. Where is it? It's up here. Why? Because these up here are the positive ions, and positive ions always come first in the compound. Positive ion and then negative ion. First positive, then negative. First cation, then anion. So ammonium is NH4 plus. Phosphate, PO4, 3 minus. I'll let you go look it up. We're not going to take time to do that. Oh, you want me to look it up? Oh, we can. No? Okay. Now, lowest common multiple, shush. Do you guys not want to be done so you can work on things? Okay, what's the lowest common multiple of 1 and 3? 3. So I need to take this one and I need to multiply by 3. That's going to give me NH4. How do I put the 3? Brackets. 3. So I got 3 of those. How many PO4s do I have? 1 PO4. If you're just sitting here staring at me and you're not like these people desperately waving at me going, no, then you're not paying enough attention, because you should be saying no. You should be involved so that your brain picks this up and you don't have to, falling asleep. Okay, whatever. What have I done wrong? No brackets. And it shouldn't be that far over. NH4, 3, PO4. Okay. I'm not doing a fabulous job of writing this today. So, at this point, we're not going to do the next one. You should be able to do page I don't know why this always takes so much longer in this class. Page 60. If you finish, you can study for your test. Or page 61, 62. No, those are the wrong pages. I'm lying to you. It is page 66. There we go, 66, 67, 68. What is wrong with me? Okay, there we go.
What's the weirdest thing to say while I was getting up here for you? Yeah, why are you so weird last y'all? Oh, okay, Johnson.
I need to sit next to new people.
Look at what Matthew's doing to my air.
I'm turning it into a classic piece of art.
So many times, places.
It's school for buddy. They're going to the gym.
66, just 66. And then you can move on and study for page 66. And I need to get back a couple more quizzes.
Are you doing okay or are you not telling anybody that we're
Got to get the key.
Ah, there you go.
Yes. Worst moment of my life. Or is he a moment of my life? No, we do not.
Well, let's see what adult can do.
Right? It was more than that. I killed the person who reached it. I feel like she was being. Shut up! Shut That was your stuff. That's your stuff. It's so good. You were not funny. Yeah, I am going out back. I'm not showing them, I'm showing you. Show us. I'm pretty sure I'll put evidence.
Gotta get the receipting.
Do not say it out loud. I really, please do not say that. He will kill you. Yeah, he will kill him. It's hard for him not to know. He knows. Vasya, he knows.
I'll see what I've got.
Different person, different. Oh, but why do you have so excited? Look at Cannon roll. Look at Cannon roll. I mean, you can take that picture. Like that. Yes. Easy. Whoa, I don't do a lot. I hate Brazilians.
Very nice.
Bro, read that. Hello.
Where's my price?
That is not all yours.
It doesn't need to drop.
Both of those names were mine. I don't know why you don't know. It's so fun.
Just one, so I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay, just imagine the beat older. Just not looking at all, but just. He does this thing. Just know that. Drop.
Should I give you some body and should I give you some?
He has like the, what they call caterpillar.
It's like if it's really crack photo. Should I give him a body?
Then it would know. Inside the why just nice to out here. You get up. Who is that?
I mean, I'd say my fish is somewhat decent.
The main. I know your
I know you would be able to get.
What? I am traumatized by.
So,
We will not say that word.
I understand.
I'm
Polyatomic is when it's more than two
atoms. Yeah.
So atoms are
Yeah.
so in monochrome it's just one ion, and this is the ions, right?
These are polyatomic ions. Because you see we've got more than one capital letter. We have carbon and hydrogen and carbon and oxygen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it's polyatomic, it's two more.
Two or more
the Mayus.
different elements.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's the Mayus, all the
Yes.
Mayus. Like,
Mhm.
and the monoatomic is when it's like N or M. It's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Oh my god. So when you say like in this part, you say like, oh, look for here, and I need to put like, wait, I need to put in Spanish.
Okay, so you look for acetate, you see the 8 ending, and you say, that is a polyatomic ion. 8.
Oh, okay, so every time when finish like ate,
Okay, let's not be so loud. Thank you.
when it's with ate, it's polyatomic.
That's right.
Okay,
Also, ite, I-T-E.
okay. So and actually other question, all of these things, this symbol is negative, right?
Yeah, it just means -1 if there's just a negative.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Another question. These things that I take a picture,
Uh-huh.
is for the test.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the test.
Yeah. But you'll have done most of this already because this was the sentence we did.
Okay, so
Okay.
tomorrow is the test.
Tomorrow
And
is
I
the
need to
test.
do the conversation.
You're welcome.
It's not an opening line.
What $100 on me?
Anyone else? That's also really asking. I will go square I needed to yap. He's not go.
Ten minutes to go. How do you start? No.
We're fine. It's just-
I'm working,
Yeah,
going
but
on.
it's all mine. Thank you.
Hi.
I was wondering, is there only like one retake on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Not needed.
Can I have it back?
But Noah, quizzes, there's going to be so many that one quiz mark won't make a difference by the end of the year. Okay?
Not helpful. But
There we go.
Bye. Thank you guys for your hard work.
Which one?
I know.
Hi.
Okay, so I still got stuck here. And
Uh-huh.
I tried watching like so many videos, but it
Which one? Number 10?
10 and 9.
Okay, number 9, what's the density of water? 1 gram per milliliter. You should know it.
Actually, know it?
Yep, 1 gram per milliliter. That's it.
Okay, let
There's
me
nothing else to it.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Hi.
I want to read some cool stuff.
it's kind of read.
So we just finished unit 2. It doesn't matter what unit. You can just tell me which quizzes you want to redo. Or do you want me to look in my book? Yeah? Okay. Let's look in my book. Okay, so we have here, these are the most recent ones. So young you are here. So we
It's not
have
nice
the
that
sig
you
fig quiz. Yeah? Yeah. And then probably the method conversions. I'm just guessing you want to redo that one. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Do you feel like you know what you're doing now, though? Maybe not? Okay. Yeah. Pardon me? These are what you got on your quizzes. So that's the sig fig calculation quiz, but I have not marked your requiz because I keep finding it and then misplacing it and then not marking it. If you want me to do it right now, I can. I probably need to look up the answers for these ones. Just give me a second here.